Calling you a radical, so there's some punk ass motherfucker trolling a fucking cancer victim, talking shit on my cancer. Fucking, this is important to these fucking trolls. By the way, it's against the law to fucking slander and attack a fucking cancer victim. Let's talk about my cancer. It's important we do it here because Kevin and Carla both got what we call AML de Novo at the same time in 2011. Carla she went to school here. She just run the Ogden Marathon. She had a good pathologist that found it in her breast. AML de Novo, what is that? That's leukemia that presents in tumors. That's should never happen. That's asymmetric to any thought process on blood cancer. It's rare as fuck, oh yeah. It's deadly as fuck, oh yeah. It's radically fucking deadly. The survival rate is incredibly fucking low. So, Carla's pathologist was good. She found it in her breast. He was a brilliant. I had a terrible pathologist. Silverman got it dead fucking wrong. But my anti-nuclearism in this town. Vincent has, most oncologists are hardcore anti-nuclears. They all know about Fukushima. Our little Angel, she's 4 right now, is fighting ALL in primary. My little great nephew's fighting neuroblastoma right now. We have a lot of it here. So Vincent Hansen, who's known me since I was a kid, he's an anti-nuclear. His father and brother both died of thyroid cancer when he was young. He knows. Fimbo Peters from Copenhagen took over LDS East State. I was headed to the Mayo Clinic. I had money. I had 30,000 shares of Tesla stock. I was uninsured. He put a lot of weight into me. If it wasn't for him, I'd be dead. Said it wrong. Happens a lot. So that San Diego girl crawled up on my back. Whoa. Went into my hip, bone marrow biopsied in Vincent's fucking office after a month of being misdiagnosed. Tell them they're going to open me. Almost cost me my life. The early diagnosis means everything. Thank you to the Ogden Clinic who saved our little Angel. They got it quit Dr. Brown. Thank you. Thank you so much. My Uncle Thomas from the grave, thank you so much. I love you. You know, you saved me from the grave. I listened to your advice when I was young. Hardcore anti-nuclear. I was a red 10 when I went into LDS State. The misdiagnosis almost cost me my life. I went from 170 pounds to 130 in 3 weeks. I was told I had an ulcer. I was told it was carcinoid cancer. McQuack-D fucking sent me home over. The radiologist, Natalie Farr, who I love her, my neighbor, who did the original CAT scan, who was one of my nurses at LDS, has recently passed away. Her heart went out of nowhere, in good shape. The original emergency room doctor didn't even read my scan. There was a woman doctor on my 3rd trip back there who read it. They diagnosed with carcinoid cancer into my liver, wrong. Then it was a tumor, ulcer, wrong. A Japanese doctor told me to go home and there was nothing wrong with me. Vincent Hansen finally got involved. Dr. Vacara told me he was going to gut me and tear all my guts out. I listened to Thomas's advice from the grave. Don't let him open you, Kevin, unless you're going to die. But you ain't doing that to me. Vincent Hansen. If you'd have had that done, Kevin, I'm glad you avoided it. You'd be dead. He called me. Let me go to work on this. I know for a fact because I'm friends with people. He overrode Silverman. Big argument. He figured it out. AML de Novo, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, which is a death sentence. It's radical. But he, oh, look at this beauty. Look at this beauty. That's old Ogden, right? That's Ogden. So he, you're going to the LDS, East State. I says, LDS, that piece of shit I've worked on there, blanch plastering so many times, it's under construction. It's a shithole. Yeah, it's under construction, but you don't know. There's a guy named Fimbo Peters from Denmark. He's the world class. I've talked to him about you. And if it wasn't for my anti-nuclear activism, I'd be dead. They don't take 51-year-olds with AML de Novo. A guy called me recently on my stuckodamage.com. He called me and he says, I watch your videos on... The guy that stiffed me on that video that's got 60,000 views I did right before I got cancer, he never paid me. Right up here in Shadow Valley. 10,000 jobs, including helping restore the fucking That masterpiece. Kevin, you're going to LDS. Checking in tomorrow. What? Tomorrow's 11/11/11. It's leukemia. I found a YouTube video with 13 views from a pathologist at Cedars-Sinai for his students. And he says, in the lower right mesentery tumors, I believe that pathologists get it wrong more than they get it right. Silverman had it wrong. Vincent Hansen had it right. I went in. I talked to Fimbo. They don't take 51-year-olds with AML de Novo. Survivor rate so low. Kevin and Carla, Kevin and Carla. Our case has been in the American Medical Journal twice. He says, I saw on your website you're an AML leukemia survivor. So am I. In 1989, I was the first group that went into MD Anderson. I was one of the first groups with AML. There was a doctor from Jerusalem, of all places. I says, yeah, I found that study. I remember Fimbo coming in my room and he says, there's this study, there's so much little data on de Novo. And I says, oh, you mean this study? MD Anderson, 1989. One of the survivors, the only survivor, called me 2 days ago out of nowhere. Found me on my sucker down account. What a beautiful conversation that was. Oh, we find each other. Keep trolling me, motherfucker. LDS, East State. Celeste, the secretary there for 26 years. From Manhattan. Kevin, come here. I want to talk to you in the clinic one day. I want to tell you how proud I am of you. I prepared your paperwork when you came in. We rank you 1 to 10. We rank you as a red 10. I've been here 26 years. I've never seen a red 10 walk out of here. Those Weber State nurses, Weber State nurses, Weber State nurses, the best. June, who started the Weber State nursing program, the legendary that it is an ex-oncology nurse. They're one of the only programs that teaches OS, that leukemia can present tumors. It's all nurses in there. They're the greatest. By the way, Michael Hawkins at Ogden Regional Medical Center is a quack who should be in jail. Told me to go see my dentist. My heart was failing from the RCM squared. They used an experimental chemo on me. I will quote Kevin Blanch. Fimbo Peterson comes in. He says, well, there's another guy named Brian Morris. He didn't have a transplant. His came back in 9 years. He's had a transplant. It didn't work. He got a stem cell boost from his son, Winston. I was in the room right before COVID broke out. He's alive. I don't know how. Tough as fuck. Ex-middle linebacker, East High. That's why. You want to talk a tough fucking dude. Rob says, hey, there's a guy I'm not supposed to tell you, but can he come in and see you? So he'd come in and see me and talk to me. Give me hope. Because it was pretty well hopeless. Going in and out of a coma in there. Michael Hawkins told me to go see my dentist. It's my heart failing. Mike Lee kicked me off Medicaid right before my gallbladder was failing. I couldn't have surgery. It ruptured. It almost killed me. I was a millionaire. I went to a zero air. 10 years is the fight. I'm coming up on that 10-year date. I'm getting there. I'm getting close. That's when we start using the C word. I know that. Marshall Jensen, that famous case in the room next to me. Nancy Peterson in the room next to me, the world-class triathlete. They're all passed away. Kevin, I prepared your paperwork when you came in. I fully prepared to do your paperwork on the way out. I've been here 26 years. I never saw a red 10 walk out of here. You did. And I did it without a transplant. While I was under treatment, I developed non-Hodgkin's lymphoma into my fucking lymph nodes up under my... I'll never forget, Fimbo himself filling up in there, and he's like, whoa. He tweaked the juice. He says to me one day, Kevin, I could probably guarantee you 2 or 3 years of life. Dr. Ford from here saved my life. I'm walking out of the clinic one day. I says, I can smell an infection in there. They ran the test, no infection. He says, they're not going to chemo you again? No, 2 rounds. My body can't take it. My platelets I haven't got. They want 100. What are they at? 83. Turn around, go in. That's Dr. Ford right here, Ogden High boy. Turn around. Less than an hour later, my fever spiked to 104. Radical infection. I could smell it. If it wasn't for that, I would have died from the infection. Miracle after miracle after miracle. They do the ketchup test where they run your line out, 13 bottles. I was shot up and, Grandpa, you still drinking that pink medicine? You know, I mean, they would mix up the cocktail for me. Fuck. Knock me out with Provolol. You don't know pain. 5 years. That was my home. 5 years. That's how they kicked me off Medicaid. They says, we're just watching you now. I said, I'm going to walk the coast of the Pacific Ocean while I'm dying of leukemia. Everybody says, you'll die out there. Your platelet counts are 38. Fimbo's like, go. Go. What do you got to lose? We're watching. I fight for her, she fights for me. He says, I could buy you 3 years, or there's an experiment, I can take a chance and do a little other things. Maybe you live to be an old man, Kevin. Without hesitation. All in. I went in a coma in January 30th, 2012. The irony of this, that's the day that the San Onofre nuclear accident. And those guys were leaking me all this stuff the same day. I'm the one that put that into the internet. I'm the one that got it kicked down, that domino. My timing of their cancer, not good for Blue Castle. Not good for any of these fucking rats. Keep trolling me, fuckers. Central line in my jugular vein. It's been a hell of a fucking journey, is all I can say. A hell of a fucking journey. AML de Novo, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. The survival rate is less than 1% of one. My daughter said we've never seen anything like it. You and Brian Morris, the only two we know of. This guy called me, he says, I'm one of the originals. People don't even know. I said, what's the odds? What's the odds? You know. Kimbo says you're a stats guy. We know that. We know everything about you, Kev. It's my anti-nuclearism. I know Vincent Hansen says I was a child in this fucking incredible town, Ogden, Utah. Something rotten in New Denmark. My Danish philosophy. I had a dream right before I got sick. Fucking came up 4-4. I was playing a slot machine, this giant slot machine, that came up 4-4, and then had these clam-looking things, 4 of them. Now I know those were tumors. And it spit out 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, a million, a billion, and it was still spitting out. And I woke up most utopic dream I ever had of my fucking life. 44, Bernard DeVoto's house is right there. He wrote 44. That's Mark Twain's. That's Bernard DeVoto right here. There were tumors. Danish philosophy believes that if you're going to die and you listen to your subconscious, it will tell you everything. I knew Danish philosophy. Kimbo and Vincent, they says, we know about that dream. There was a Danish girl in the emergency room that put the work into me. I'd been sent home my PhD 3 times. They didn't even read the scan. Silverman. So they sent out my dish to 200 different labs. They got a hit in, where? Nebraska, where Spanish flu came from. And they're cattle freaking, a sheep. And it verified the hunch that Vincent Hansen took and Fimbo took. That pathologist. I met with that pathologist, held a Caldecott Symposium at the New York Medical Academy. He came and talked to me because I told him my story. He just wanted to know about Vincent Hansen, Fimbo. They all that, then some. So keep trolling me, fuckers. Against the wind. I'm still running against the wind. I'm older now, but I'm still running against the wind. Carla, Nancy, Dana, Mrs. Glauser, Judy, I grew up with. She was in there with me. Mount. A lot of us Ogdenites in there. Lord, where'd you sleep last night? Girl, don't you lie to me. I slept in the dead fucking pines with the sun's Fukushima, Japan. Holy shit. Don't you remember, Kevin? I slept in the bone marrow transplant center next to you. I'll never forget. Lord, I remember. Lord, I remember. East 8, way up from the high. That Ford that drove by was in the back of Kevin Blanch's 68 Chevy. So keep trolling me, fuckers. AML de Novo presents in tumors. Survival rate is so incredibly, radically fucking low. I think a lot of people get it misdiagnosed. It was Ogden fucking high girls that saved me. Weber State nursing program saved me. It was Ogden High fucking nurse doctors saved me. By the way, Dr. Connors, Thomas, my uncle, fucking, they split me open, did my open heart surgery. I says, I hope I was nice to you when you was a kid, because I knew him when I was a kid. I coached a lot of youth basketball around here and they played. You better hope you're nice to me. I'm going to hold your heart in my hand for 6 hours, Kevin. Your uncle taught me the old way in the 70s, splitting you open. We have new ways, but I know that way works. We've been doing it for years and years and years. I'm going to do it the old way. I'm going to split you open. Oh. First Saturday in May, down the stretch they come. Yeah, you were really nice to me. You were very respectful. Thank you. Always be nice to the children, because they grow up to be men and women. And they might have to save your life. They might have to save your life. The little girl's in the primary children's right. Thank you, Dr. Brown, Logan Clinic. He says, I'm taking a hunch on this. This is not right. Sent her down there. They caught it early. Fighting ALL. She's going to lose her hair. We're all going to shave our heads. The young doctor. He says, I went into this because of the environmental poison and the toxin. That's why I went into this trade. Very young doctor she has. Do you think that her leukemia is possibly a contributing factor is the Fukushima disaster? No doubt in my mind. Vincent Hansen and Fimbo Peterson are hardcore anti-nukers. They know all about Fukushima. My anti-nukers are the only reason I got in. Forked over all my Tesla stock, broke me 10 years. I put up with trolls. Mike Lee kicks me off Medicaid. That's attempted murder while I'm in the bone marrow. Walk the coast of California while I'm dying. Dead tide pulls at your feet, Edie. It's a cult. We're the Feldor valve. We'll play the count to 38. So troll me, motherfucker. Troll me. Troll me. You want to label me? I'll fucking label you. Fuck you, trolls. I'm not afraid of you. I will quote my doctor. Oh, these trolls and everybody that's going after you, Kevin. Don't you know you've been fighting the meanest, nastiest, vicious bully in history? Oh, you mean the Nuclear Energy Crime Syndicate? Oh, no, I know what you mean, Doc. AML, de Novo, Leukemia. You got it. You want to talk a bully? You got to fist fight the fucking bully. Fight the fuck back. Stand tuned. Thank you. Thank you to all these nurses and doctors. Right here. In this beautiful town. Put the WPA sign up here, Mariner. Mariner Eccles. We use rounds in there, and I spoke in Denmark at the, the nurses do residency. We're a community. It's not me and your fucking gun. It's not fucking me. It's we. We. Stand tuned. It's a community.